All right, Combat Convo, you know what it is, man. We back. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the page, all that other good stuff. So look, man, we're gonna talk about this fight, the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight. Um, yeah, before we get into that, make sure you like, share, subscribe. We back in here, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna be doing more things on this page. We had to just wait because some things happened from on YouTube, but we back on here now. So you'll see some things coming through. You know what I'm saying? We gonna be up on here. All right, look, man. So let's get right into it, man. I guess we could start with what was your initial thoughts. We could just go back and forth. What was our initial thoughts, and then we could talk about the fight, just the fight in general. So what was your initial thoughts on the fight? Like, how did you feel about not
I,
not necessarily the fight itself yet, but before the fight? What was your initial thoughts on this fight coming to fruition?
so my initial thoughts was what we talked about off camera and on the phone or whatever. My initial thoughts was that that if this fight goes past the goes past that third or fourth rounds that and it goes into the later rounds, that Tyson was going to have a hard time. That was my initial thought. My other thought was that it could be fixed and stuff like that, and and that there's a clause and whatever. But that's just me looking at the internet and then believing certain things. You know what I'm saying, because of money situation and all that. But Tyson don't really need that money because he got truckloads of money. So that was my initial thoughts going into it. Um, as the fight.
Okay, so all right, so so let me give my initial thoughts before you go any further. Um, my initial thoughts that it wasn't even about whether that I'm saying for me, I thought this was something amazing to come about. The fact that Mike Tyson is 58 years old, Jake Paul is I believe 27, and I thought that this was an amazing way to kind of send Mike Tyson off into the sunset. You know what I'm saying? Of being great. Plus, Mike Tyson is still active um, in the boxing world. Not saying he's active as boxing, but he's still active in the boxing world. And this gives Jake Paul a actual shot at fighting somebody that's an extremely good boxer to the point where he might want to be the best of all time. So my initial thoughts was something on the lines of I thought that this would be amazing for actually both of them in this case. That was my initial thoughts when that fight was announced. Even though I thought that Jake Paul was going to lose, but I'll get into that in a second. But that was my initial thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, at getting into the fight, as far as the progression of the fight was, like I said, I wanted Tyson to win. I mean, what person wouldn't want Tyson to win? You know what I'm saying? If you grew up, if you was born in the '80s, between the '70s, say late '70s, '80s, early '80s, you know what I mean, and you grew up as a kid in the '90s and you seen Tyson fight, and I've watched Tyson brawl with some of the toughest competitors, at that time. And I watched it with my son. My oldest son was up and he watched it with me, and he was like, "Wow, this guy's 58 years old, like, and he's doing this." I said, "Yeah, it's amazing, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, you know." So that's the great part of it. That's the great part of it. Seeing a 58-year-old go toe to toe with a 27-year-old. So that's the great part of it. The downside of it is that, what I mean, father time, and it's kind of what I was, thinking along the lines that if father time has a factor, it could potentially, you know, judge the fight for us, and the rest is history. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go into it too much just yet because I want to give you your chance to explain your side, and then I'll go back into my whole
Uh,
take as well.
um, for me, Father Time didn't bother me at all. I was not bothered that Mike Tyson looked old in the match because Mike Tyson is old. I didn't look at it from the point of view of I knew he was gonna get tired. I knew he was gonna struggle, but not to the point where he didn't like. I put it to you like this: Mike Tyson went 8 rounds, 2 minutes. He didn't really struggle as bad as most people thought he would. Most
That's true.
60-year-old men, even though he's 58, but let's just say he's 60, 60-year-old men cannot do what he just did. They can't. And most 60-year-old men are not looking like him. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's
I
true.
see a lot of 30-year-old men don't look like him. So I didn't really get bothered by Father Time when it came to Mike because I already drew the conclusion that he's a 6-year-old man fighting a 25, 27-year-old man. So I
Hmm.
figured that was going to happen. But
Hmm.
me personally, I thought it was glorious to see him even do something like that. I just thought that was
Hmm.
amazing. And that's another thing on his list that he accomplished as one of the greatest boxers of all time.
Hmm.
At 60 years old, he had a fight. So,
Yeah, I agree with that a lot. As far as those things, I didn't really take heed to it that much. But I was concerned with the age difference as far as how he was going to be able to absorb the punches because we all knew that Jake was going to run. You know what I'm saying? He was going to keep the distance, and he was going to move around a lot, and he was going to keep Mike off balance, which he did a phenomenal job doing that. Like, he kept him off balance. He didn't allow him to engage. He didn't engage with Mike. You know what I mean? He kept him off balance. He moved around a lot, and he kept Mike at bay. Because he knew that as long as he keep him at bay, there's a shot that he could potentially, close out the fight. Now let's just say if he did engage with Mike, would 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 Mike like would Mike be able to withstand that engagement? I mean, we don't know. We don't know because they didn't engage that much inside. They engaged a little bit, but it wasn't a typical engagement that Mike is used to. You know what I mean? It wasn't a typical one where we seen him close in that gap and then they start going blow for blow. You know, that didn't happen. Um, it was basically for Paul's side. It was basically a technical fight. He jab. Use his height advantage, his size, jab, keep him away, keep him away, keep him away, and that's basically you know what decided the fight.
um, I thought that Jake Paul did a really good job at keeping Mike away as well. I thought that his jab was really good. He caught Mike with a couple of good shots. You know what I'm saying? From what I seen, I mean, I can't really take too much away from Mike Tyson because again, um he did the best he could within the scope of what he had, you know what I'm saying? But I will say that I noticed that th- the thing about Jake Paul, and I've been saying this since he been boxing, he's gotten better every time. Now, it's gonna sound kind of weird, but I don't really count this fight as him getting better. You know what I'm saying? As far as him getting better, fighting a better fighter, I would say. Even though Mike Tyson is one of the greatest of all time, he's still old. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't take that away. But I think that Mike Tyson not getting knocked out, Jake Paul not getting knocked out, it kind of alleviates Jake Paul from being criticized because he can always go on record and say that he fought Mike Tyson. Even if
Mhm.
Mike Tyson was 60, he fought Mike Tyson. He didn't knock Mike Tyson out. Mike Tyson didn't knock him out. So nobody can say, well, you got knocked out by a 60-year-old man. Or you knocked the 60-year-old man out. Nope. They went the distance. And on top of that, nobody got knocked down. Nobody got knocked out. So you can't really use that against them. So I think they both came out of this winners because Mike Tyson went into it at the age he is, and he fought a younger man and withstand it and didn't get knocked down, didn't get beat up. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Jake Paul. He went in there with the greatest of all time, and he somehow got out of it without getting really touched like that. So, and they both got a lot of money off of this fight. So they both won in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? They both won. That's how I'm looking at it. You know what I'm saying? It was a pretty decent fight. Wasn't bad. I think the female fight before that, the Gina Carano fight was better. And then the Mario Barrios fight was good. Those are the best fights. But I think that this fight here it was just something I think was on Jake Paul's bucket list. He did it, and you got to give him his props, man. Most people can never go become a YouTube star and then fight legends. Except for Tommy Fury, he fought all legends. Everybody fought was a legend. Well, Tyrone Woodley, I would say I don't know if he was a legend. And the other guy, the first fight he had, I don't know about that one, but Anderson Silva, who he fought, the other couple of people he fought, can't really say too much about him. You know what I'm saying? So now, but the question is, and I'm gonna let you go, but I got a question after this, but I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah. I the thing is, like, I first off, I just want people to like don't criticize Mike too much. You understand what I'm saying? Don't criticize him too much. Don't be posting all these memes and start being disrespectful. Like, look, okay, the guy's 58. You know, he did what most 58s cannot do. Most 58-year-olds are not getting in there with a 27-year-old and going 8 rounds. Going 8 rounds. You know what I'm saying? Most 58-year-olds are not training like Mike did fight. Mike trained a hell of a good time. Like he did a lot of things that most 58-year-olds wouldn't even imagine doing. And truth be told, truth be told, like I think Mike knew there's a possibility that he could lose the fight like this. I'm not saying get knocked out, but I think he kind of knew that he could possibly lose the fight like this, only because like there were certain things in the interviews that he was given that you know allowed me to know like there could be a possibility that he could lose this fight. You know what I'm saying? Just how he answered certain questions. You know what I mean? Just I remember this one reporter asked him something, and then she asked him about the distance of the fight. And the way he answered the question kind of alluded to me that he knew that if Jake fights that type of fight, then it could be Jake's night. But at the end of the day, like I said, Like Mike has nothing to be ashamed about. He did what he's supposed to do, you know. He did what he's supposed to do, you know. So
I guess my next question, I guess we get out of here is, so where do Jake Paul go from here? Like, who's he fight next? Because you fight Mike Tyson. I mean, now you're entering. Even though Tommy Fury is a professional fighter, and I would consider Jake Paul a professional fighter now, but he's a professional fighter with a twist. I would say, because I mean, we gotta be clear here. He went from the way he fought when he first started to where he's at now. Yeah, he's a pretty good fighter. Is he the best? No, but he's a good fighter now. I don't know if here's the thing about Jake Paul that I want people to understand. Jake Paul is not running from no boxers. He's not running from any boxers. They just won't fight him because they don't take him serious. Because most fighters who are really good fighters, they will not fight a fighter they think that they know that they can beat. They don't care how much money you put up, because they look at it like, if I lose to this guy, my career is over. Even but if I win, it looks like, oh yeah, he's trash anyway. He's not a real boxer. You just took advantage of him. So a lot of these fighters won't fight him. But the thing is, you have to take him serious now. How you not take him serious? Like, how do you not take him serious? And wouldn't you want to beat him? Like, I don't understand it. Wouldn't you want to beat him? I guess like I said, some fighters listen. So I don't know where his career goes from here. I don't know who he's gonna fight next. He's still young. He's not old. A lot of y'all gotta understand, he ain't no old dude. He's 27. You know what I'm saying? Now, a lot of people will say, like, oh, he's a YouTuber. It doesn't matter. He could throw them hands. It don't matter if he's a YouTuber. Why does that matter? That doesn't matter. He could throw those hands. And the remarkable thing is, he didn't start boxing. He started boxing 5 years ago.
yeah,
5. So that just lets you know that you don't always have to. With hard work and dedication, you could do anything you want. Some of these fighters been fighting since they were 12 years old. This dude started at 21. He started at 21. And I'm not saying he's just as good as them, but I'm saying, like, he has a shot. So you got to give him his props. I can't deny the man. Got to give him his props. So, but I don't know who he's going to fight next. And I believe whoever he fights next is actually going to be a real boxer. And not say Mike Tyson is not a real boxer, but you know what I mean. Because he already fought a real boxer. But I'm thinking whoever he fights next is going to be somebody, maybe somebody that has a little popularity. I honestly think, and this is just me putting this out there, I think he's going to fight Deontay Wilder next. To be honest with you. I
Deontay.
didn't hear that from nobody. But I think he's going to fight Deontay Wilder next. And the reason why I say that is because Deontay Wilder is a heavyweight, and he lost his last couple of fights. And what better fight to come back and fight Jake Paul is Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? Because Jake Paul's a heavyweight. Deontay Wilder, he's not going to fight Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, Usyk, that's not happening. He's not fighting Tyson Fury. He's not fighting Usyk. That's not happening. He's not going to fight any of the other heavyweights. The only one I think that he could fight that would be a draw and everybody would come to that fight and it would be a big deal is if he fight Deontay Wilder. That's the fight I think that he's going to take next. And I think that would be amazing. Personally.
Hey, listen. If he fights Wilder, that's a little bit closer to his age bracket, and you know, that's, I don't know. Let me just I'm gonna just backpedal. I'm not gonna really comment too much on that. I want to see if that actually happens, because I have seen some postings that Wilder. I don't know if Wilder made it, but I've seen some postings on the internet where Wilder would probably be accepting into going into that fight promotion and doing something. You know what I mean?
I'm just telling you, I never seen that anywhere.
I've seen it. I'll show you the link.
I'm just
I'll show
saying,
you.
I'm saying I never seen it. I just said it. I never
You
seen that anywhere. No one's
I
ever
said,
told me.
yeah, no. I've seen postings. You know what I mean? How true they are, I don't know, but I've seen postings. I'll send you some of the postings that I seen. Um, that was kind of like, trying to throw him up in there to see. But I don't know if that could ever happen. But
Why couldn't it?
I mean, it all depends. It all depends.
Why
You
couldn't it
know.
happen? Deontay Wilder don't got no fight set up. He ain't fighting nobody. He lost his last 2 fights. I
Yeah.
mean, how could it not make sense? I'm just saying, like him fighting Jake Paul is an extremely big payday for him, and that's a fight that most people would want to see because they think that Deontay Wilder would have a chance of beating Jake Paul.
Mhm.
That's all I'm saying. So I'm thinking that probably be his next fight. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know. He might have somebody else in mind. Might have Ken Shamrock or somebody in mind. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know. But it is what it is. But yeah,
Yeah.
man. You got anything else? We gonna get out of here.
Nah, nothing.
All right, man. We out of here, man. Y'all have yourself a good night, man. Shout out to Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, man. It was entertaining. Shout out to the whole card, actually. He actually had a good fight on a couple of good fights, but yeah, man, we out of here.